Happy Friday afternoon to you. Nice to see you from Midtown Manhattan. I am Dylan Ratigan, and what a week it has been for all of us here on the DR Show and in Mattis Hellland, if you will. Our Get Money Out campaign, as you surely know, has exploded into its first few days. More than 67,000 of you have joined us. I'm not sure who us and you is, but we're all together in an effort to raise the green curtain of money that is strangling our political system and making real debate that we all so desperately want on trade, on bank reform, on taxes, healthcare, education. Virtually impossible. Later on in the show, we'll tell you again how you can get into this whole situation, learn about the Get Money Out campaign, and ultimately stop the political pro wrestling that we're still getting from most in Washington and, for that matter, outside Washington. We begin today with other folks who are mad as hell, however. Protesters, as you may have heard, are spreading from a small, unrelenting, and persistent group on Wall Street to an ever-growing group in San Francisco, with more planned tonight in Boston, Chicago, LA, even Dallas. The numbers multiplying in Lower Manhattan, where the movement started, as the city's labor unions are now pledging to join, taking the number occupying Wall Street next week from a few hundred to a few thousand. It is not clear what their desired agenda is, but we can only hope it's to help us get the money out. The mega panel today with us, Ari Berman, Touré, and Crystal Ball. And it's very interesting. Hi, guys. Nice to see you. Happy Friday.
Nice to see you.
You don't know this at home, but just seconds ago, there was a man attempting to adjust wiring on the back of Crystal Ball's head. She can't really hear anything, but she's going to pretend and play along like a good professional would. That's I love when that happens.
We can hear you.
I want to put those guys on the camera.
Here.
Anyway, we'll talk about that. How do you interpret, Touré, the energy wave that we are witnessing? Not just the wave that you have just recently made with the publication of your book and the pushing of a conversation to a different place. The response that we're seeing to Get Money Out. The expansion of what was this small group on Wall Street that was largely ignored, that is now transitioning through its own unrelenting nature into this. What is going on here, man?
People are angry, and I think that when you say that we're not clear on exactly what they want, and they're not saying this is a pinpoint goal of ours.
I'm saying I hope they want to help me get money out.
No, of course.
That's what I'm saying.
But that there's not a very precise goal highlights that they are angry, and they're so angry that they're like, we're going to do something. We need to take some
I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
You know, this is not a clear goal, but
you think they'll help us get the money out?
I think they should, because people need to put two and two together, right? The reason Wall Street remains so powerful is because they are funding both political parties. And the reason why we get people in the Obama administration who were part of the deregulation push of the Bush administration is because of the money. So I'm glad you're talking about it. I'm glad they're out there. People just have to realize that this is an issue, and then you start talking about the solutions. But if they're not even aware that anything's going on, you're never going to get to that solution.
What do you think about the idea of attaching the Occupy Wall Street energy to the energy that we're witnessing about getting money out? So you take that, you harness that for positive action.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what needs to happen, as a matter of fact, because with Occupy Wall Street, you have this sort of amorphous protest movement. What are they about? What's their message? We don't really know, other than they're frustrated. If you had something very concrete, we want to get the Wall Street money, or the money altogether, out of politics, people would respond to that in even greater numbers. That is a coherent message that this country is ready for, is dying to
There's
hear.
no representative of Occupy Wall Street here. In fact, I suspect they don't even have a representative. But if there was such a representative, I would propose to them right now that we partner your energy, your resistance, your engagement, the simple message that we have all agreed to, 67,000 of us so far here, maybe the protesters, I don't even know, to take your energy and help to harness that energy for positive change around the singular, exclusive focus of Get Money Out. Think about it. Go learn, if you wouldn't, about the actual amendment. That's all it is. You can hate me, you can disagree with me about everything else, but if you want to get money out, I'd love to work with you. It does seem like the 2012 election, even though the political apparatus is nowhere near this, and they called the Politico, or wrote about us the other day, called us the Chicago Cubs. They're like, Ratigan's lost his mind. He's going to try to get money out of politics. The guy's a Fruit Loop. And if you look at the election, they're going to spend $8 billion next year, which is absolutely correct. At the same time, I don't see how this presidential election doesn't come to this issue because of the amount of money we're going to see spent.
Yeah, well, I'm a Cubs fan, first off, so go
You're
Cubs, even though there's some dark days right now. But yeah, I mean, the Obama campaign, it said they're going to have to raise $1 billion. Mitt Romney, Rick Perry,
all these guys.
Money. Chris Christie's meeting with a bunch of hedge fund guys right now to plan his campaign. So yeah, both parties are complicit right now in this problem.
I wouldn't say they're complicit. I would say they're trapped.
Yeah.
Because if any one person in that system attempts to get out, I just torch them. And so I think it's also important for us as we all learn. I just did my own learning about this, that we actually learn to have it's a weird thing to say, people are going to be confused, a little bit of empathy and compassion for everybody in the political process for the simple reason that they are trapped inside of that system. Some willingly, some delightfully, some unwillingly. You'll never know the difference. But what we do know is if we don't relieve all of them of the money at one time, on three, 1, 2, 3, out with an amendment, there's no other way to do it. The panel stays. The conversation continues. We take a break. Bernie Sanders joins us out of D.C. right after this.